We know that in an AC generator, when a coil of wire is rotated, then the magnitude of the induced EMF changes how many times? It becomes 2 times maximum and 2 times minimum. That means totally it changes by about 4 times. Whereas the direction of the induced EMF is going to change how many times in one complete rotation of 360 degree, means it is going to change 2 times. So overall, the magnitude of the induced EMF changes 4 times, whereas the direction of the induced EMF changes 2 times when the coil of wire is rotated completely through 360 degree in an uniform magnetic field in the case of AC generator. Now, let us study the same in the form of a graph. That means the graphical study of variation of induced EMF in an AC generator. Look here, these are the 2 pole pieces of the generator, north pole and south pole. So this is north, N stands for north and S stands for south. Now between the 2 pole pieces there will be uniform magnetic field, and the direction of the magnetic field will be from north pole to south pole. You can notice this blue colored line represents the magnetic field direction, which is from north to south. Usually uniform magnetic field is represented by means of parallel lines of force like this. Here what I have done is I have not made use of too many magnetic field lines. For simplicity, I represent the uniform magnetic field only by means of one magnetic line of force. If I mind, I can draw too many lines of force like this from north pole to south pole. So let us make the figure as simple as possible. So this is the uniform field from north to south pole. Now let us consider the different positions of the coil. Let us imagine this cardboard itself as a coil. This itself as a coil for time being, and the pen which is fixed exactly at the center represents the area vector. That means the direction of the area vector is outwards. So if this is the area of the coil, then I can represent the area of the coil by means of a vector by drawing the vector along which direction? In the outward direction. Okay, so the pen represents the direction of area vector of the area of the coil. Let us start from this position. Look here. Initially, when the coil is like this, see, this is the plane of the coil. To the plane of the coil, area vector is perpendicular. Initially, when the plane of the coil, see, this is P, this edge is taken as P, this edge is taken as S, exactly opposite to, exactly at the back side of P. That means if this is P, the back side of P is taken as Q. Then if this is S, that means if this is S, the back side of S is taken as R. So this will become R. So once again, so this is P, okay, this is Q here, and here this is R, and whereas this one is S. So initially, let the plane of the coil be perpendicular to the magnetic field. If the plane of the coil is perpendicular to the magnetic field, then the area vector will be parallel to the magnetic field. So remember this difference. The plane of the coil will be perpendicular to the magnetic field, whereas area vector of the coil is parallel to the magnetic field. Now, this is the first stage, that means the starting position of the coil. So 0 degree, I consider this as 0 degree. Okay. Now, if I rotate the coil through how much? Through 90 degree like this. Look here, 0. Let us represent this. 0 degree, 90 degree, and this is 180 degree rotation of the coil, and this is 270 degree, and finally 360 degree. Okay, so I consider this as stage 1, this as stage 2, and this position of the coil as stage 3, and on rotating further it goes to a different stage, that is stage 4, and finally this is stage 5, which is same as that of the stage 1. Okay, let the coil be rotated in one of the direction, either in the clockwise direction or in the anti-clockwise direction with an uniform angular velocity omega. So what I do means I represent the direction of rotation of the coil with an uniform angular velocity omega. So what is the direction here? So the direction is in clockwise. Let us start stage 1, 0 degree. Okay, now the area vector is parallel to the magnetic field, or the plane of the coil is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Let us stick on to any one. Either we will make use of area vector as the reference or the plane of the coil as the reference. Okay, now I make use of area vector itself. So area vector is parallel. So along with this we shall keep writing this also. Okay, so this is area vector, it is parallel now. Now I rotate this through how much? In clockwise, like this 90 degree. See, this is 90 degree rotation. When the coil is rotated through 90 degree rotation, then what is the direction of area vector? The direction of area vector to this magnetic field is perpendicular. So let us represent this. So this is nothing but area vector. So area vector is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Next, 0, 90, then 180. Once again, now the area vector is parallel to the magnetic field, but it is opposite to the magnetic field. If the magnetic field is directed like this towards south pole, the area vector is directed towards north pole. So let us write this also. So this is nothing but area vector direction. So totally 0, 90, 180 is over. Now let us rotate it further. So once again I start from beginning. So let us consider 0, 90 degree rotation, okay, then 180 degree rotation, then I rotate this further so that it will become 270. Okay, 270. Now how is the area vector? Now the area vector is perpendicular to the magnetic field, but it is directed along which direction? Now it is directed in the upward direction, like this. So this is nothing but the direction of the area vector. Okay, direction of area vector. Now finally we shall rotate the coil through 360. So once again 0, 90, 180, 270 and finally 360 degree. So now finally the area vector is once again all along the direction of magnetic field, like this. So this is the direction of the area vector A. So now when the coil is rotated completely through 360 degree, what has happened to the magnitude of the induced EMF? The magnitude of the induced EMF is continuously changing. Look here, from 0 to 90 it is increasing. Induced EMF, it becomes maximum at 90 degree rotation. That means at this position, when the coil is at this position, induced EMF is maximum. So let us write this. This is the induced EMF and this induced EMF is maximum and it can be represented by either E0 or E maximum. Next, again when the coil is rotated from 90 degree to 180 degree, that means from 90 to 180, the magnitude of the EMF, induced EMF is continuously decreasing. So the EMF that is produced in the coil, remember EMF is produced in the coil between the two ends of the coil. So the magnitude of induced EMF now decreases from maximum to minimum. Okay. Then once again when the coil is rotated from 180 degree to 270 degree position, that means from ear to ear, once again the magnitude of the induced EMF increases and it becomes maximum when the coil is at 270 degree position. That means when it is rotated through 270 degree. Now once again from this position, when the coil is rotated back to its initial position, that means to 360, what happens? From 270 to 360, induced EMF magnitude is again decreasing and it becomes minimum at 360 degree. So here induced EMF is maximum, whereas induced EMF E naught or E maximum, here it is minimum. Minimum means almost zero induced EMF. Here once again it is maximum, E naught, which is also equal to E maximum. Okay, once again here the induced EMF is minimum, so it is E minimum. Now look here, in one complete cycle, we call this as one complete cycle. This is positive half cycle, this is negative half cycle. Positive half cycle, negative half cycle together forms one complete cycle. In one complete cycle, that means 360 degree rotation of the coil, the magnitude of the induced EMF is changing how many times? Maximum 2 times, minimum 2 times, totally 4 times. So induced EMF magnitude changes 4 times. Then E minimum will be how many times? Twice, and E maximum will be twice. So totally now 4 times the induced EMF magnitude changes. What about the direction of induced EMF? Now the direction of induced EMF in the coil can be determined by making use of Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, so it can be determined by making use of Fleming's right hand rule. So if we determine, then the direction of induced EMF during off cycle, suppose if this is the coil, okay, if this is the coil which is rotated from 0 to 90, 90 to 180 degree rotation means off cycle. During off cycle, if the magnitude of the induced EMF, if it is like this, if it is in this direction, if it is in the clockwise direction from 0 to 180, if it is in the clockwise direction, then from 180 degree to 360 degree, it will be in the anti-clockwise direction. So the magnitude of the induced EMF will be in clockwise direction from 0 to 180 degree, and again from 180 to 360 degree. So it will be in anti-clockwise direction, that means opposite. So that is why the direction of induced EMF direction changes how many times means changes twice. Okay, so this is how we can study the variation of induced EMF graphically in an AC generator. Now mathematically also we can verify this, how the induced EMF becomes maximum and minimum. We know the equations. Induced EMF in an AC generator is given by E equal to E naught sin omega t R. It is also given by V equal to V naught sin omega t, where V is the induced EMF or instantaneous EMF. V naught is the maximum EMF, okay, maximum EMF or peak value. So this is nothing but peak value or maximum EMF. One peak value, another peak value. One peak value exists on positive side, another peak value exists on negative side. Suppose, and what is this? This can also be written as V equal to V naught sin theta, because what is omega t? Omega t is nothing but equal to theta. Theta is nothing but angle of rotation. Look here, a graph is plotted how? By taking the angle of rotation along which axis? All along x axis, whereas the magnitude of induced EMF E or V along which direction? Along this direction, that means all along y axis, E or V. Now in the stage 1, that means when theta equal to 0 degree, stage 1 theta equal to 0 degree, what happens to this equation? V equal to V naught sin 0, so this is V naught into 0 equal to 0. So induced EMF is 0 when the coil is not yet started rotating, right from what? Initial position. At t equal to 0, theta is also equal to 0, therefore induced EMF is also equal to 0. Next, this is stage 1. Stage 2, when theta is equal to 90 degree, that means when the coil is rotated to 90 degree, stage 2, what is the induced EMF now? V equal to V naught sin 90. This is V naught into sin 90 is nothing but equal to 1. So sin 90 is equal to 1. So this is V naught. So induced EMF is maximum. You have seen that 90 degree induced EMF is maximum. Stage 3, when theta is equal to 180 degree, V equal to V naught sin 180. If you find the value of sin 180, then value of sin 180 is found to be equal to 0. Therefore, at 180 degree, induced EMF is minimum. Minimum means it is equal to 0. Stage 4, when theta is equal to 270 degree. Okay, when the coil is rotated from 180 degree to 270 degree, stage 4, then V is equal to V naught sin 270. This is equal to V naught. If you find the value of sin 270, it is found to be equal to minus 1. So therefore this is minus V naught. Look here, this is the induced EMF, which is minus V naught or minus E naught. So E naught, E maximum, or this can also be represented as V naught. So V naught, once again here, this is nothing but V naught. V naught or E naught or E maximum, all are one and the same. But only thing is, this EMF is negative, maximum negative. This is maximum positive because it is on the positive of cycle, whereas this EMF is on the negative of cycle, therefore minus V naught. Whereas this one is plus V naught. Now right from 270, finally we come to what? We come to the stage 5. In the stage 5, what is the value of when theta is equal to 360 degree? What is the value of theta? 360 degree. Now if I substitute, then V equal to V naught sin 360. If you find the value of sin 360, it is found to be equal to 0. So once again, induced EMF is 0. So at 360, induced EMF is minimum. Minimum means 0. Okay. So this is how the induced EMF magnitude changes along with the direction in one complete cycle when a coil is rotated in a uniform magnetic field. And we have taken the case of the coil which rotates in an AC generator. So since the direction of the induced EMF changes alternately, suppose if I consider next cycle, again in the next cycle, the magnitude of the induced EMF varies from 0 to maximum. It goes to positive of cycle and again from positive to negative. So the process continues. If the coil is rotated completely through 360 degree, then for every 360 degree one cycle gets completed, and again for next 360 degree one more cycle appears, again for next 360 one more cycle appears. So this is how the direction of the induced EMF keep changing alternately. That is why it is known as alternating current. Why the name alternating current is given to this? Because here the direction of the induced EMF or the induced current changes alternately. During positive of cycle, if it is in the positive direction, then during negative of cycle, the direction of induced EMF current will be in the negative direction. So that's why the name alternating current is given. The same values can be obtained even in case of induced current also. Corresponding to this equation, what is the induced current or induced EMF, induced current I equal to I naught sin omega t or I equal to I naught sin theta. If I substitute the values of theta as I substituted here at a different stages in this current equation, then we get the same value. So current becomes maximum twice and minimum twice in this one complete cycle. So along this axis, either I can consider the induced EMF or the induced current. Now let us study about the eddy currents. See all the figures in which I have written on the board, 4 figures, figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4, all related to the explanation of eddy current. Before knowing what is meant by eddy current, I take one example. What does that example means? Say for example, I am going to make a bar magnet to oscillate. Suspend the bar magnet from a rigid support like hook or nail by means of a string or thread. Then make it to oscillate. Set it for oscillation. Now what happens? The magnet oscillates, and let us say that it oscillates for a time of up to 10 seconds. That means up to 10 seconds it oscillates, then after 10 seconds it comes to rest like this to its equilibrium position. Here the magnet oscillates for a duration of 10 seconds, means here there is no opposition for the motion of the magnet except the friction of the air particles with the surface of the magnet. The surrounding medium to this magnet is nothing but air, because we made the magnet to oscillate in air. So therefore there will be slight frictional force, that means slight opposing force for the motion of the magnet by means of the surrounding air particles of the atmosphere. Okay, so if the magnet moves like this, then the frictional force will be like this. Whereas if the magnet moves, look at, when the magnet is moving like this, if this is the direction of motion, then this will be the frictional force F. Now when the magnet moves like this, that means if it oscillates toward this side, then if this is the direction of motion, then this will be the direction of frictional force, and this frictional force is due to air particles. So that's why the magnet is able to oscillate for certain long duration. In contrary, let us consider now one thick metallic plate. So this is one thick metallic plate having certain thickness. Say for example, T is the thickness. So this is metallic plate. Now if the magnet is made to oscillate by keeping a thick metallic plate in front of it, then what happens? When the north pole moves towards the metallic plate, then the flux linking with the plate changes. How it changes? It changes in an increasing manner. Similarly, when the north pole moves away, from the plate, the flux, magnetic flux, let us represent that by phi b, linking with the same plate goes on decreasing. That means when north pole moves towards the plate, magnetic flux linking with the plate increases. When the north pole moves away from the plate, then the magnetic flux linking with the plate goes on decreasing. So this increase and decrease of the magnetic flux linking with the plate results in an induced EMF, which results finally in the formation of a current on the surface of the thick plate. What is that current called as? That current is called as eddy current. So, and this current flows in the form of circular path like this. Throughout the surface area of the plate, there will be induced current due to change of magnetic flux linking with the plate when a magnet is set into oscillation, or else even we can move the magnet like this. If we move the magnet like this, or if we withdraw the magnet like this, then also on the surface of the thick plate, what will be there? Induced current. That means whenever we keep a thick metallic conductor which is in the form of a plate in a changing magnetic field or a changing magnetic flux, then on the surface of the plate a current is induced because of motion of the free electrons of the metallic plate or metallic conductor. So the free electrons of the metallic conductor are set into motion because of change in flux. Free electron experiences force, and the free electrons now they begin to move in the form of circular path, resulting in a current, and such currents are known as eddy currents. Here the direction of the eddy current can be determined by making use of Lenz's law, because eddy current may flow either in the clockwise direction or in the anti-clockwise direction, depending upon how the flux linking with the plate changes. Based on that, the direction of eddy current also depends. Then why the name eddy is given? What is the meaning of eddy? So eddy means nothing but whirling or circulating in the form of circle or whirling. That is the meaning of eddy. You have seen what you have seen, the water pools, that whirlpools on the surface of water in case of a flowing river. So in case of whirlpools, the water used to move from the surface of the river to the bottom in the form of what? In the form of like this. So in the form of circular path like this. So that is why the name eddy is given. Okay, eddy means whirling or circulating or in the form of concentric circle. So these are nothing but the free electrons which are responsible in the formation of eddy current. Now let us write what are eddy currents. So currents induced on the surface of thick metallic plate. So this is figure 1 and this is figure 2. So current induced on the surface of thick metallic plate when kept in a changing magnetic field, or magnetic flux. So changing magnetic flux is known as eddy current. Now as a result of this, what happens? Now the oscillation of the magnet ceases quickly. See, if I set the magnet to oscillate with the same amplitude as I did in this case without plate with certain amplitude, I set the magnet to oscillate. Now with the same amplitude, now if I set the same magnet to oscillate by keeping one thick plate in front of this magnet, what happens now? The oscillation is not going to exist for a long time, like for about 10 seconds. So here, if the oscillation of the magnet continues for 10 seconds, here the oscillation is not going to continue for 10 seconds. The oscillation is going to get damped quickly. Damping means oscillation immediately ceases or stops. Say for example here, I assume like this, the oscillation may stop within 3 seconds. Okay, it is just because of what? Because of the eddy current. Because according to Lenz's law, the direction of the eddy current is such that it always opposes the change that causes it. Here the eddy current is caused because of change in magnetic flux. Change in magnetic flux takes place because of oscillation of the magnet. If the magnet is at rest, no change in magnetic flux linking with the plate takes place. So due to oscillation only, the flux linking with the plate changes. So therefore, the eddy current direction is such that according to the Lenz's law, always opposes the change that causes it. How does it oppose us? So how does it oppose us? Means when the north pole moves towards the plate, then on this surface, that means on this side of the plate, if this is the plate, on this side of the plate, what happens means north pole itself is produced. Look here, north pole itself is produced. So therefore this north is going to repel the north pole of the oscillating magnet. So that's the meaning of opposition. Similarly, when the north pole moves away from the plate, then what happens? On this surface, south pole is produced, whereas on this surface, north pole is produced. So when the north pole moves away, then south pole is produced on the surface of the plate. Now the south is going to attract the magnet. So this is how the motion of the magnet is opposed. Because of this opposition, the oscillation cannot continue for a long time. So the oscillation immediately stops. That means the oscillation immediately gets damped. Now we can understand how the oscillation gets damped, or we can understand the formation of eddy current by means of different experiments. There are too many experiments to demonstrate the formation of eddy current. Okay, so let us now try to demonstrate the formation of eddy current, and also in that experiment let us show that how the eddy current is able to damp the oscillation. So let us demonstrate the eddy current. This is the figure 3 in which I am going to consider. Once again, here there are two powerful magnetic pole pieces. Let us consider this as north and this as south. Okay, or even this may be north and this may be south. So these are the two powerful magnetic pole pieces, or else even we can make use of electromagnet also. Now let us consider one thick copper plate. This is nothing but thick copper plate, and this copper plate is suspended from the rigid support, and we make this plate to oscillate in the magnetic field of the two pole pieces. Because there is a space here between south pole and north pole, which are separated by a very small distance, so that this plate can oscillate freely. So this thick plate, when it is made to oscillate between the two pole pieces of a powerful magnet or an electromagnet, then what actually happens here? When the plate enters into the region of the magnetic field, say for example, so this is the direction of magnetic field. So the direction of magnetic field is from north pole to south pole. Okay, so it will be like this. So direction of magnetic field, it is from north to south. Oh, sorry, let us write here. Okay. Now here what actually happens when the plate enters into the field region? When the plate enters into the field region, then the magnetic flux or the magnetic field lines linking with the plate goes on increasing. How it increases? Now we can understand this from the top view. I write one more diagram. See, this is nothing but front view. We are viewing from this side, front view. So if I view from the top side, then we can understand how the magnetic flux linking with the plate increases and decreases. So let us consider now. I make it simple. This is south pole and this is north pole. Okay. So look here, this is nothing but what? Nothing but top view. This is top view figure. Top view figure I am writing here to explain how the flux linking with the plate increases and decreases when the plate oscillates between the two pole pieces. Because these are nothing but the field lines, magnetic field lines, which is from north pole to south pole. Okay. Now, top portion means I have to consider this. Look here. The top portion of the plate I consider to explain. When the plate is entering, look here, when the plate is entering into the magnetic field now, how many lines of force are said to be linking? One. Now when the plate moves further, so this plate now it is oscillating like this between the two pole pieces. Okay, from the back when it enters into the field region, the flux linking with the plate increases. Now I am explaining that by means of this figure. Let us consider this as the magnetic lines linking with the plate. So this is nothing but plate. How many lines are said to be linking? 2 lines. Now when the plate comes exactly to the middle region of the pole pieces, say for example like this, when it comes exactly to the middle region, like this, how many lines of force are now said to be linking? Look here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us write that figure also. Now when the plate comes exactly to this middle region, one, two, three, four. 4 lines are said to be linking. Here only 1, 2. 2 lines are said to be linking. That means when the plate enters into the field region, the area of the plate linking with the magnetic lines of force goes on increasing. As a result of that, the flux linking with the plate also goes on increasing. Look here, only small area of the plate got linked up with the 2 lines. Now large area of the plate got linked up with what? With a large number of lines. So that is when the flux got changed from 2 lines to 4 lines. As a result of that, an EMF is induced in this plate due to flux change. And the direction of induced EMF in this case, look here. So this will be the direction of induced EMF. Then here this face behaves like a north pole, whereas the backside face behaves like a south pole. That means when the plate enters into the field region, this face behaves like a north pole, whereas this face behaves like a south pole. So north is repelled by north, okay, south is repelled by south. So this is how the oscillation is disturbed. Now again, when the plate goes out of the field like this, now it entered from back, it entered like this, now it goes out like this. From back to front, it is oscillating like this. Let us now consider this situation here. Now the same plate is leaving out now. It is coming out of the field region. Look here now. How many lines of force are said to be linking? 1, 2. That means 2 lines now become 4 lines, 4 lines now become 2 lines. That means once again, when the plate comes out of the field region, the magnetic flux linking with the plate is changing. How it is changing? It is decreasing. When it is entering, it increases from 2 to 4. When it leaves out, it decreases from 4 to 2. Once again, when the plate comes out, look here, maximum lines 1, 2, 3, 4. When it comes out, while coming out like this, what happens means the flux linking with the plate decreases. Again an EMF is induced here, but this time the direction of the induced EMF is opposite to that of this. Here if the direction of induced EMF or induced current, let us consider induced current, this is the direction of eddy current. If the eddy current, now it is said to be in anti-clockwise, now here the eddy current is said to be in clockwise. As a result of this, this face now behaves like south pole, whereas the back face behaves like a north pole. So once again what happens now, while coming out, if this behaves as south, understand, if this behaves as south, south is attracted by north, and here north pole will be there, north is attracted by south. So south attracted by north, and again here north attracted by south. As a result of that, once again the oscillation gets disturbed. So therefore here, because of formation of eddy currents only, the oscillation gets damped. The oscillation gets damped. That means the oscillation ceases. The plate cannot oscillate freely for a long time. If it is a thick plate, it cannot oscillate freely for a long time. Why? Because of formation of eddy current. So eddy current results in the formation of what? Formation of 2 opposite poles here, north and south. So these poles now, while entering, it is repelled, while coming out, it is attracted. So that's why the oscillation of the plate decreases. So this is one experiment where we can demonstrate the formation of eddy current also, and also how the eddy current is able to damp the oscillation. Suppose instead of making thick plate to oscillate between the 2 pole pieces, if I cut the plates like this, in the form of rectangular slots. And if I make the plate to oscillate, then what happens? In this case, now the plate oscillates for a long time, long duration. It do not get damped quickly. Why it is so? It is just because of what? Because of the reduction in the surface area of the plate. The area of the plate gets reduced. We have cut and remove this portion. This portion is also removed. So when the cut plate begins to oscillate, then it oscillates freely for a long time because the reduction in the area is going to reduce the eddy current. How the eddy current gets reduced here? Look here. Suppose if I consider this as the path of the eddy current. Okay, so this as the path of the eddy current. Now what happens means the path of the eddy current increases. I am not saying that magnitude of the eddy current increases. I am saying that path, the length travelled by the eddy current, that increases. Length travelled by the eddy current increasing means the electron has to travel a greater length or greater distance. Electron, while travelling a larger distance like this, faces the opposition. That means there will be I resistance. Because of I resistance, what happens? Now the eddy current reduces. So the path length of the eddy current increases. That means the flow of electron has to face the opposition, and that opposition is nothing but resistance. When once the resistance increases, eddy current decreases. Once the eddy current decreases, finally the oscillation will continue for a long time without getting damped quickly. So what is responsible here? The path length of electron increases, okay, thereby electrons faces the opposition. Opposition means resistance. Okay, and we know that as resistance increases, current should decreases. So this is how the eddy current produced in the cut slot plates. So these are nothing but cut slot. Slot means rectangular opening like this. So cut slot plates can oscillate freely for a long time than a thick plate. Thick plate gets damped quickly, whereas the cut slot plates oscillates for a long time due to reduction in the eddy current.